Rollin. Welcome to the back nine of round one of the 2025 PDGA United States Women's Disc Golf Championships, presented by Discraft and CKfornews.com. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hotkeys.
Thanks, Melissa and Dave, for making us these goose mittens with your fingers. We love you. We are watching some stuff happen, like a whole lot of stuff. Kristin Lätt able to stay bogey-free, really impressive at Rollin Ridge, an extremely wooded and challenging course. Silva Saarinen keeping it pretty clean at even par. Paige, Missy, Gannon not quite having as fun of a time out here. We're going to kick it off with hole 10, which I think is the most difficult hole on the course, to birdie anyway. There is a line, it's just highly technical and highly punishing. It's a backhand flex shot, I think, to get all the way to the pin. There's so many trees in the way, especially this final gap is very difficult. The reason I think it's so difficult is because if you hit any of the trees on the right side with the backhand, it tends to shoot you over to an OB line that is on the left. That being said, you can get there. So there could be more birdies than some of the other par threes, but I think also more higher numbers. Anna with a slip, able to get all the way out there.
She's just outside the bullseye.
Anna contending for the lead here, and that's a big one. Go ahead.
Missy Gannon going to lead us off here. You can see that little gap that you're supposed to hit. You got to have a turning shot, but Missy throwing it just a little bit too straight.
Finding that OB, and it can be difficult just to save your bogey from over there. Ooh, good. I'm glad we get to see this. I like the forehand. It is just a par play, but with the birdie being so difficult. I'm wondering, though, I do like a hyzer flip forehand on the right side. It looked like she was trying to go outside the left, which I don't think is quite as clean.
Quite as safe either.
Yeah.
It's really tough to recover from up high on the hill there.
Oh, man. Silva finding that same first guardian tree, kicking it all the way right, but there's no OB over there.
This did play as the most difficult hole of the day, averaging at just over a full stroke over par.
Paige with a late release, dropping pretty early. No one really in position to even par. And that's a slip, it looks like, from Kristin. And that's what I'm talking about, man. Those kicks into the OB are brutal. The line comes up so quick. Paige chucking another forehand roller. Not a whole lot of gaps.
Oh, my God.
She's going to find OB. Look at Silva with nothing.
Yeah, the OB line is the most unfortunate part of this hole. It's a really cool shot, but it definitely brings a lot of chance and luck into play. Anything on the left side of the fairway is out of bounds. And when you have this many trees, it's just not a great thing to have in a wooded course.
I wouldn't mind this hole if the OB line was pulled off another, like 50 feet.
Yeah.
It's way too close.
There's another fairway over there. That's why they're doing it. And just the nature of the design of the course wrapping back and forth on itself.
Yeah, I understand, but like, look at these compounding errors. This is insane. You very rarely see the entire card struggle so much on one hole. That's Kristin's fourth. She's not even in circle 2.
Oh, man. Yeah, there was only 2 competitors that got to circle 1 in regulation. Only 9 got to circle 2 in regulation.
Missy with her third, just looking to get a bogey. This is one of the few holes out here where I'm okay with a bogey. And that's a very technical forehand from Missy. Well done.
And, like, look how difficult it is to recover once you do go out of bounds. Even if it's off the tee, it's so impossible to try to get up and get yourself a putt inside the circle. Paige just jump putting to right outside the circle.
Yeah, if you get 3/4 of the way down with the forehand, there is a fair gap. It's still really difficult, but this left side is way harder.
Yeah, look how tight it is right before the green.
whole lot more shots than you want to see on a par 3. Missy's going to take another double. Here's Kristin for a double. And
30% of the field with a double bogey or worse.
Oof.
40% with a single bogey. 30% with a par. And the one birdie of the day we saw.
Did you say what it averaged? I'm sure at least
Over a stroke over par.
Yeah.
1.05.
Paige with a good run there. Man.
Yeah, that OB line takes what could be a really cool hole and makes it not that cool.
Yeah, I don't know if the play is to not throw the intended shot and play for par.
Yeah,
this is the only other hole I disagree with out here.
Yeah, maybe that is what they're trying to get you to do is just chip.
I don't know. It's boring.
It is boring.
Everyone wants to see the cool back.
It's so weird to have a par 3 that's like almost should be a par 4.
Mm-hmm. Well, some of the par 4s out here are only barely over 400.
That's so true.
And that's crazy. We just have 2 doubles and 2 triples.
I don't know if we've ever seen that on any feature or lead card ever.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Probable statistic for sure. Not a pleasant one.
We walk right back up the hill and play this second downhill tee shot. It's another par 3, a little shorter, a little bit more fair of a gap. You have to throw right at this grouping of 3 trees and have your disc hyzer just in the nick of time, or a pushing hyzer that's gradually flipping up. From the tee pad, it's a pretty small gap. You see a lot of discs coming into contact with that grouping of 3 trees. It is tough to get to the bullseye or even inside the circle. You see a lot of discs landing on circle's edge or in circle 2.
Evelina absolutely peering the line.
Wow.
Gorgeous.
She's just doing things.
Mm-hmm. I like this one,
no one else is doing. Yeah, no, it's a great hole.
Yeah.
But it is hard to get your disc up inside the circle.
And that looks like a slower speed disc too. Not positive, but it did look like it.
So you can see the 3 trees just above Missy's head, and then there's that one tree. Most players are going to the right of that tree and trying to push a hyzer towards those 3 trees. Yeah. It's a very tough shot.
Yeah, you are right. Most birdies definitely having to make a putt.
It was also a ripping headwind up this fairway.
This is the first time. You could kind of feel it on the last hole, but on this hole, absolutely gale forced winds.
I can't quite tell if they're feeling it there, the wind, but it was like blowing hats off amount of wind.
And that looks like a decent line. It just pushes a little bit too straight for Silva, but she gets out.
Yeah, you're happy with that kick.
I mean, she doesn't look happy, but does she ever?
Yeah, that's her birdie face too.
I know. Kristin, after the first blemish on her scorecard, looking to recover, and that's a really solid line. Beautiful shot.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of a putt to make.
It's crazy how wide the gap looks from the other side of the hole, but from here it just looks so small.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like you're just throwing right at that tree. And Paige, this is exactly what Madison was talking about. Really good shot. Gonna leave a circle 2 putt. Missy stretching out on a knee, throwing a little sidearm chipper. Wow, her little turning sidearm is looking fantastic. Silva, if anyone can make that, it's her. What a run. In a pretty strong left to right / headwind. Paige unable to convert the long birdie. Silva with a comebacker near circle's edge, it looks like.
There were only 6 birdies on this hole. Wow. 3 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation, 13 to circle 2. So
harder than you'd think, actually, at 309 downhill. Tough gap.
Yeah.
Ah, Kristin leaving it low for a birdie. I guess a round of pars is fine here.
Yeah, with 65% of the field taking a par. We are A-okay with that. Hannah and Lucky tied for the lead, 5 down.
Hole 12, another long par 3, but this one actually having some airspace, the most open shot I think that we play on a par 3. You just want to swing a hyzer in there. It is a very guarded green. You do not want to come in early. There's just a hint of luck involved, I think, too, getting all the way inside the circle. You can just see how guarded these trees are. But for the most part, yeah, just swing a nice, fun hyzer. At 360, I feel like it plays a little shorter. You know, that's like...
It definitely does.
That's far, but, like, I can get inside... I can park the hole, you know?
Yeah, I, like, threw it...
downhill, maybe?
I feel like I threw it as hard as I could. Because that's, like, right at the max distance, and I was way past.
Yeah.
So it plays, I would say, closer to 320, maybe 330.
Yeah, 330 sounds right. Missy going a little deep, it looks like. She'll have a look.
We had a right to left crosswind, so it was a difficult wind for the shot shape you want.
I kind of liked it. I just like swung a higher hyzer than I normally do and tried to like let the wind push it. It was fun. It's not something I normally try. Oh, Silva,
Wow.
yes. And look how happy she is. That was her neutron echo. What speed of disc is that, do you know?
I believe it's a 7-speed.
Wow.
It might be a 6.
Still like
It's a
not
slower.
not a super fast disc to get all the way there.
It's a 5-speed.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Cool shot.
5.5, negative 1.51 for all the disc nerds in the chat.
We know you're out there.
Mm-hmm.
Kristin with a great shot, but unfortunately doesn't get through the guardian trees all the way. Here's that nice spiking hyzer. The right to left wind pushing it in. Paige also going to be caught up on circle's edge. Pretty typical. I'm not sure Kristin has much of a gap here. Oh, she did. Leaves it short, though. This one's tough to swallow because it's like you did what you were supposed to.
Uh-huh.
And you are going to have a putt, but it just feels like you should park it.
Yeah, Missy gonna have a big comeback putt from the other side of the circle. Paige not a great putting option here. She's gonna have to hyzer this one in. And looks like that tree is right behind her as well, not letting her quite do the full routine.
Missy, about 25 uphill, left to right wind.
Oh my God.
It's like 2 inches high, dead center. Oh, Paige with a comeback or two. Also pinned up. She's had so many trees directly behind her today. Squeaks it in.
It is rare for those baskets to catch right side or left side. Anything soft, so really about time Paige had one go her way.
Mm-hmm. Friggin' brutal out there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're really seeing all the ins and outs of Rollin Ridge.
Cool shot. Silva able to get that birdie with that phenomenal tee shot. It's like lucky the Renson has the solo lead at the moment at 6 down through 12.
Shredding.
Mm-hmm.
Here's hole 13. In my opinion, one of the most difficult holes on the course to birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Another par 3 that I don't understand the distance. It says 324, and maybe it just feels longer because of the line and because of how sharply right it is. Even with a distance forehand, I feel like this one is so difficult to get your disc to carry straight enough and right enough to get all the way to even circle 2. A backhand seems like it would be the play, but it would have to be kind of a late flipper. Evelina,
Or this.
yeah, Evelina gonna try this little.
No.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Actually, they got to circle 2.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's great. It's hard to get much farther than that. Like,
wow.
no. She's like, oh, yeah, whatever. And I think that's all the birdies today are probably going to be circle 2 hits. Like, that looked so, like, late and bad out of her hand.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. Every time I throw a forehand that's so stable, I'm like, oh, I nailed it. It's like
Yeah.
edge of circle 2.
Yeah, and like I threw the flippiest backhand disc I have today on a great line where it didn't dump and it still was right outside circle 2. So it's you can see Silva just trying to turn something as hard as she can. Look at the trees though. It is another one. You can't see any of those gaps. You're just throwing and hoping that it gets through.
I do think the forehand line is cleaner, but harder to get the distance.
Yes, definitely. Kristin, one of the best forehand throwers in the game, especially with distance. Let's see if she can find the line.
Huh. She, like, puts a whole lot of height under it. I actually did like that. It does get caught up. Giving it time to drift over to the, or rather fade over to the right. Ooh.
Oh.
Late release from Paige.
Yeah, this is another one of those holes where if you don't get through this initial gap, the rough is very brutal on the both left and right side. Love this shot from Missy.
Oh, wow. She really pushes that inside edge on a turning backhand shot. And that's so good. And that's maybe edge of circle 2.
And she might even be obstructed too because it's there's a little peninsula of trees that stick out if you go too deep, too straight.
Speaking of obstructed.
Yeah.
Our friend Bush pitching out.
Yeah.
And this is still a very difficult upshot.
Beautiful.
Oh, wow.
That's so good.
Pins it.
Down a hallway the whole way.
Great recovery, but you can just see, I think, Paige not quite in it for the last couple holes. It's hard to stay focused when you're just not really having a good round and not getting the breaks when you throw good shots. She has thrown a lot of them and still been pinned up on trees.
You can see Silva forcing a jump putt here. It's hard to get a throw even on some of these approaches.
Kristin following suit. Par's good on this one. Missy, wow, about 50 feet. Ooh, for a birdie. It's a rare birdie.
So rare. There was only one player that got to circle 1 in regulation.
Oh, wow.
Only 11 out of 78 got to circle 2 in regulation. Rebecca Dawn was the one player in circle 1. She managed to get that birdie as well.
I would love to have seen that shot.
Cadence Burge, Alexi Marks, and Evelina Saarinen making their putts from circle 2. And then our own hot goose, Erika Stinchcomb, with the 2 from the fairway.
I mean, it was right. It was one step outside circle 2. But it was a sick
nice
putt.
long putt.
Yeah. Kristin, our only player on feature card to remain under par. Evelina now in the lead at 6 down. Tie at the top. She has to make it. No way! Nervy putt to win. Hanley! Her first Disc Golf Pro Tour elite event. Hole 14, a par 3 that is less than 300 feet. We love to see it. I think the easiest par 3 out here personally. This hole is called the Wall, and you can see why. There's a few of them actually. I kind of like, so you see the line, obviously there's a clear line to the pin. You see a lot of just dead straight shots or maybe like baby hyzer flips. I like a flippy fairway driver straight at it. You see a lot of people hit the wall and have kind of funny little putts up to it. It's a teeny little green up there where the basket actually is, and if you are up there, the basket's really short. It's kind of a funny one. But hitting the wall like Henna did is a great play. But yeah, kind of some funny putts on this one. Great birdie.
297 seems like it's easy, but this is still a really tough shot. The gap is very small, very late in the game. What's nice is that there is that bit of a backboard, so you can kind of just blast one.
And on the heat map, kind of short left right there where Silva is the brightest red. On fire.
So any of the trees on the right-hand side are also bright red.
It's so weird to watch this coverage and see evening shadows.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because we always play in the morning. Right now, it's like 6 p.m. right, or well, it's 5 something p.m. right now. Ah, Missy, solid shot, caught on the last tree. Paige, maybe just a little early, little sawed off, but she's going to have a circle 2 look. Pretty classic on the wall.
Only 19 competitors got to circle 1 in regulation. 2 competitors did make it up on top of the wall, parking the hole.
Kristin going to hit the wall on her approach shot. Missy just going to lay up for a par.
Silva giving it a nice run. Going to come up on the cage. It's crazy to see this hole like this.
Yeah, these lengthened evening shadows.
Paige with the last birdie look on the card.
There we go.
Heck yeah. And we're used to seeing Paige cash a few long putts during her rounds, but it's almost like she hasn't really had the opportunity
Yeah.
today.
Nice, clean, slow mez putt from her, though. Great birdie.
Every long putt has had a tree or some sort of weird thing in the way.
She's been on a tree.
Yeah, she's on a tree. Tree's in the way.
My disc was on the backside of this wall, and I like couldn't get my foot behind it very easily. It was one of the weirdest, most difficult 4-foot putts I've ever had. I thought maybe I'd have to go up above it.
Yeah.
It's very strange.
Evelina 7 down through 14. Kristin still the only of our featured card, keeping it under par. Silva really battling though. Hole 15, another shorter par 4 at 455. This one's still very demanding though. You can go the route the drone is flying with a more of a flexing shot, but I like the right side gap. Just throw something as hard as you can and hopefully get somewhere in this area. The second shot is, if you get through those initial gaps, pretty simple. It can be, of course, difficult to get up and down from anywhere further back in the fairway, but as long as you get the tee shot off well, this is a nice, easy approach. It is on a hill, though, so rollaways are definitely in play, and I saw a bunch of them on my card today.
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a fact.
Yeah, there's 2 on mine. I was one of them. I do think Matt is correct that the right side play is probably the most typical that you see, not the one the drone flew.
Yeah, Paige a little early there. I'm not sure which one she was trying to go for, but
I would bet right.
me too. A hyzer flip up the right side is a very true line.
Yeah, I did see one backhand up the left, which I think is rare. I like a forehand on the left. You don't need to get that far to birdie it, but it is a little bit smaller of a gap. This green rules. There's little totems everywhere. There's like parrots and owls and weird old forest men and all sorts of cool stuff. It's awesome. Oh my gosh, look. I feel so validated. I'm just like Kristin. And she does push it a little far into those trees, but she'll still have a chance to birdie. Wow. I feel great about myself, honestly.
It is dark in there.
It's late.
Missy with a really nice hyzer flip. She's going to get a little more drift to the right than you want, but I think she will still have a pretty straightforward approach from over there.
With the lightning delay, I mean, I was on the course for 5 hours today.
Wow.
It's a long round.
Paige with a forehand. And she's not going to quite get onto the putting surface. She'll have a kind of a funky downhill putt.
Kristin not left with a whole lot. Having to get on a knee, throw a little forehand. Oh, wow.
Whoa.
I thought she was going inside gap, but
Me too.
she was going out and around and catches the first tree. So I'm surprised. Maybe she sees something we don't. Fairway tree or something. But yeah, kind of a surprising choice from what we were looking at. Missy also going to go forehand on her second.
Missy been working on her forehand leading up to this tournament a lot, and she's probably happy about that because she has needed it a good amount today on those approaches. Silva with a funky little stance. And that's a shot that I feel like we could all be like, oh, yeah, I could do that. And then you try it, and that like
So hard.
Yeah, having your feet all weird like that with a tree. But Silva is good enough to get there into circle one, putting back up at the basket.
So hard to land next to this pin, though, with that hill. Sit. Good disc. Kristin coming up short on her birdie bid. Here's Paige from maybe 40 feet or so, 42 feet. Splash out left. And a bit of a roll.
Yeah, so quickly you find yourself at the bottom of this hill on the edge of circle one.
Missy's birdie bid from a similar distance. Right side splash out. Ooh, Paige squeaks it in on the comebacker.
That's a great tester putt.
Silva's birdie look. Good for it. Gonna get her back to even par. Silva really battling out here.
There were only 13 birdies on this hole today.
Yeah, another one where you at least want to look, but can be elusive. There's about 350 trees between you and the pin. Nice birdie from Silva, though.
What's going on, guys? Hold My Bag just launched the greatest disc golf fantasy game in the universe.
Hold My Bag just dropped the best fantasy disc golf game the planet has ever seen.
I want to tell you guys about the newest disc golf fantasy game on the market.
One of my favorite parts is the Hold My Bag. This is something that we started doing, and it's actually a lot of fun.
Hole 16, uphill par 3, the shortest of the day. Not quite the easiest, though, because there is a nice little gap you have to hit 3/4 of the way down, or rather up the fairway. Very elevated fairway, so it takes more power than 276 for sure, probably at least 300. You do have to hit that gap.
More than that.
A 315, 320?
Oh, more than that.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I only ever get to circle 2, so I can't tell.
It's a crush, especially because it flattens out at the top and you have to keep pushing forward. I'd say the 340.
Yeah. Evelina currently tied for the lead. And,
Oh my God.
Look, she's surprised. She's surprised.
This hole's so hard. It's hard to par.
The fact that she had it high enough basket height, that's insane.
That just like gently laid in the chains.
That's so cool.
That's such a crazy ace.
It really is. Man, and if she missed too, she was soaring like 40 long.
No, that is
She's-
incredible.
She is ripping these discs. Look at her. It takes her to 8 down. That's insane.
I wish I knew the elevation gain on this hole.
Yeah.
Like it's
It's gotta
very
be, like,
uphill.
at least, what, 30 feet up?
Yeah.
At least. Maybe 40?
Wow, that is such a crazy ace. That's
Like, usually if you get through that gap, you're sliding on that, like, red mulch that we're
Yes.
seeing and then kind of skipping up into the circle. You are not seeing a pure air shot like we just saw. That's insane.
that was insane.
Glad it's on camera.
I hope one of these shots gets all the way through and doesn't hit any trees so we can see where people are landing.
Paige kind of late releasing all day. Gonna be a lot of work from there. Kristin just a bit early, and that left side can be really brutal. Come on, Missy, just get a clean one.
It's so hard to recover from over there.
It's so hard to just like keep hyping yourself up to stay in it too when you're just kicking all over the place. Ooh, I like this little turning shot.
Oh my goodness, dude.
It was a good shot. You know, 2 feet right, and it was perfect. Paige once again dealing with some pretty crazy footing, it looks like. Wow.
A really
Athletic
great
recovery.
shot. Yeah. These little skinny trees honestly piss me off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. They don't need to grow up.
No, like, keep the big mature ones.
That's what I'm saying. These little guys take their lives early.
They're literal vines. They're vines. Like, we would chop them down as course maintenance. There's one on the left side of the fairway on this hole that is just dead as a doornail too, and it's so small, and I just wanted to just make it my staff for the rest of the round. Like, you're coming with me.
I'm a little disappointed he didn't.
It would have been like a 15-foot tall staff.
I'm into it. Paige from very edge of circle 2 looking for a par save.
Okay, maybe I'm being dramatic because 11 people got to circle 1 in regulation and 27 to circle 2.
But I do think that they're like skipping up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
skibbling.
Yeah. For
But
sure.
just hitting that gap, obviously, as we saw, is a pretty impressive
It's
feat.
so impressive.
Very nice. I do think the gap is right on the edge of circle 2, though. So, like, you could miss theoretically left or right and still be just barely inside circle 2.
True.
What a par save from Kristin.
Yeah, we get to watch a slow mez. Look at this beautiful straddle putt.
Just barely missing that tree. Gorgeous. Paige, still a lot of work left here for bogey. So good at a comebacker.
Yeah. Another really nice putt.
Okay, only the two. Well, I bet they're like the third and fourth most difficult holes maybe left.
Yeah. Hole 17 is no walk in the park. It says it's the 14th most difficult.
Oh, really?
That is blowing my mind.
That is surprising.
So it's
I mean,
saying
maybe
it's-
it's just hard to birdie though, but like you can scramble for par because it's short. Maybe.
It's saying in the top 5 that it's in the top 5 easiest holes. That's blowing my mind because this.
Yeah.
Look at this fairway.
Mostly starting here.
Yeah, you it's like a decision on whether you're supposed to go right or left. If you choose the left option, which is the slightly bigger option, and you land on the left side of the fairway, look how those trees checkerboard, and it can be really difficult to get up and down to try to save birdie. But maybe a lot of people are just playing for par here, not trying to go super aggressive and get that birdie. It's, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's worth it to try to throw something just straight and not hit any trees. Like I feel like most players are just trying to blast whatever disc they trust as far as they can. I personally kind of like the right side of that gap.
Same. It's more open on the second, like you said.
Yeah.
Ooh. Lucky. But like where the drone flew, that is not a realistic shape for a disc.
No.
So what looks like a fairway is not actually possible. It's this and what was the other one? 4 are kind of the only 2 like true poke and hopes. Like that was a gorgeous shot. Not really rewarded,
Yeah, and
but it's short, so
and it's not really anything you can like attempt or try for because all of the gaps are blind.
I feel like in all of our words, just having a par 4 that's under 400 feet probably just says a whole lot.
It's true.
Missy gonna bounce around, probably have some kind of look. Maybe we'll see.
It is such a pretty fairway, though. It's that's one thing that they've got going for them out here. That these woods are just beautiful.
They really are, especially in this golden evening light we saw in the last couple holes.
So here's Silva. Thankfully, she kicked to the right. Being on the left side of the fairway is insane. There's just nothing.
The pin is up and left of that kind of T-pad protective barrier that we see on the right.
Silva gonna take the hyzer route. Love this play.
Oh, that's great.
So good.
She's, what, maybe circle's edge?
Yeah. Another elevated basket.
Yeah, that's true. And this one, like, awkwardly not tall enough for what we normally practice on.
Oh, it
Just
depends
a
on where you
little
are on the
elevated?
green because
I
the
guess that's
green
true.
is
Whoa.
green is very steeply sloped. So if you're on the short side, it's very tall.
Paige getting really sneaky through a gap there. Missy somewhat lined up here for
She's got a
what you
little-
might call a fairway.
Yeah, she's got a little hallway. Beautiful. Just a little low. Oh, no. Sadly, it's going to skip a little more than she wants on this hard pan green. She might be blocked on the putting surface over there. There's a couple trees on the left side of the green that can get in the way.
Kristin with even more distance than I thought. Still not totally rewarded with what looked like a perfect tee shot. That looked like a very awkward line she had to throw and gets caught up.
And this happens a lot on this hole where you throw a tee shot that you're fine with and then you just don't really have any option.
Yeah, but I guess it's so short that it's mostly going to be pars out there.
Yep.
That makes sense.
60% of the field with a par. So surprised to see a quarter of the field birdieing. Love that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you can see on the upside of the green, it's a short basket. On the downside, it's very tall. Missy putting across at it. And once again, just coming up a teeny bit short on the cage.
It'll be interesting to see Missy and Paige kind of battle back after this round, you know, finding themselves in a position they're not normally in.
Yeah, try to refocus for tomorrow because we still have to play another round out here. Silva, wants another round. She's been stringing together some birdies here on the back nine.
Yeah, it looks like she's 3 down through the last 7 holes. Really impressive stuff.
Kristin with a squeaky clean round ever since that triple bogey. Not quite able to find any green.
Yeah, and the string of gray for sure.
20 birdies on this hole. That's impressive.
That's great.
I feel like there's a lot of luck that goes
Oh,
into this hole.
yes. Yeah. It's like luck off the tee and
And
then
the second.
an insane scramble, usually
Yeah.
very technical scramble shot that also might need some luck.
And then the sloped putting green, too. You gotta hope for no rolls.
Silva gonna tie it up with Kristin. They are in 13th at 1 down. Evelina with that ace still hanging on to the lead at 8 down. And wrapping it up, hole 18, another par 5 at 731 feet. I like this one as a finishing hole. There's a lot of separation and a lot of danger. I like a straight backhand to the top of this hill. Second shot, you're just trying to get down here and avoid that OB pond on the right. Usually you're landing well short of it, but obviously it depends on who you are. Third shot, you are trying to throw usually past the OB pond on the right side that the drone flew. There is kind of a sneaky fairway on the left side, but it's kind of a sucker's gap, I think. It's more like if you're out of position, it's somewhat viable. This tee shot's interesting because
It's
it
so
like
hard.
baits you into almost like wanting to flip something, but you can't.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't fade, or sorry, yeah, you can't really fade either. So it's tricky.
Yeah, so many discs go, so many discs go into that center patch of trees and stay there. Silva's is going to get a little kick out to the right.
You really only need this to go Probably like 275 feet, though, to get the birdie.
Yep.
Obviously, farther if you want the eagle, but you don't need to bite off a whole lot here. You just need to make the gap.
With such a beautiful shot, unfortunately catching that last tree. But yeah, like Erika said, you kind of can throw something straight and let it hyzer just a bit at the end. Missy, wow, that's such a technical shot.
Oh, and it's good to see her rewarded with a nice skip into the center of the fairway. Finally rewarded.
Yeah, I tried to go on the right side a couple times, but there's not really anything there.
Mm-mm.
I think this is the play, like this pushing hyzer flip.
But it can't fade too much.
Yeah, Paige with a lot of power. Thankfully, she's got that straddle sidearm, and she still can salvage a birdie. Kristin going to take the wide open left side.
That's so crazy. That's the third time we've seen this right side kind of deep squat forehand from Kristin, and it just has so much power. Try that at home. I dare you.
It's not easy. You'll feel it in your low back.
Silva with a very awkward stance. That's well done from where she was. Gonna be just on the edge, unfortunately.
She may be eyeing up that left side fairway from over there.
Missy in a good spot here. Looking to probably get a little bit of turn on this thing at the end. That's looking gorgeous.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, make a move. That's how you know it's phenomenal.
Uh-huh.
And it
Missy
still had some legs.
She's across the pond on her second shot. Paige.
Oh, man, another tree right in her stance.
She's catching the trees right before you get to that out-of-bounds pond.
She's even with it, though. Like,
yeah.
She can birdie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, left side gap.
Yep. Oh, wow. That is so much more narrow than it looks.
Yeah, it really is. I'm not exactly sure where we are. I just know that it's dark.
I think she kicked left.
Silva's third. She's a little short of the pond. Looks like she's taking right side still.
Yep.
Getting a hyzer, hopefully in a skip towards the pin.
That is somewhere in between her and the basket.
Oh, man. One last forehand roller from Paige for the day. Brutal one.
Oh, okay. She kicked right, actually. And she's in that center patch. She's got a long look for a birdie.
Strong run. And a great front nine from Kristin. Really only one mistake, but just not quite scoring on the back. Silva from 110 feet or so. Gonna have a little work left. Here's Paige's pitch up for her par. Pretty awkward. Nice.
It's a hard shot.
Missy's third. She's broken up this hole really well. Nice. And a tough day for Missy, but strong finish.
This hole played as the fifth most difficult hole of the day. There were only 10 birdies. And you can see how much can go wrong. Only 6 competitors getting to circle 1 in regulation, while 19 got to circle 2. And yeah, 17 and 18 have teeth to finish out this round at Rollin Ridge. We do have one more round here tomorrow on Friday. And you know these competitors are looking for another opportunity to attack and string together some more birdies. Our feature card having a little bit of trouble out here today.
Not typically what we see, but thank you for joining us for it.
Yeah,
we made it.
A rain delay can do a lot to your game. The pressure of a major and then a really dense wooded course. But tomorrow we're going to watch Evelina, Hannah, Own, and Haley King attack this course. And that's going to be a fun watch.
Yeah, definitely a lot of variety of play styles in that grouping. Should be a good time to come back and to be able to attack probably some different game plays. It'll be interesting to see how the statistics change as people kind of dial in where to attack and where to just go for par.
Yeah, we heard Evelina say that she thought this course had a few too many trees, but it's funny to see her now at the top of the leaderboard throwing some pure shots, and that's with the ace as well. So maybe we could see some magic again tomorrow in round 2 of this 4-day major, the United States Women's Disc Golf Championships.
Thank you to the Founders Club, and don't forget we are still trying to get to 500,000 subscribers, and if you aren't already one of them, please hit that button and harass your friends so we stop having to say it. I'm Erika Stinchcomb.
I'm Madison Walker. We're your two hockeys.
Honk.
I wasn't ready.
Sunshine, get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine. Get up, watch your body, and I feel that sunshine. Get up on my body, know it truly, I feel fine.